name is Katelyn Barrett, and the title of my presentation is Barbie or Bust, Innovating the Modern Woman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like you to look at a few pictures and tell me what you see. What do you see in this picture? Okay, what about this next one? All right, what about this last one? Interesting. Barbie is just a lump of plastic, but she reflects your perceptions. She is our culture's Rorschach test. She's the second most recognizable pop cultural icon and the most emotionally charged. Barbie is one of the most powerful innovations in our society, especially impacting perceptions, roles, and opportunities for women. Barbie's innovation is a two-edged sword. For every girl who embraces Barbie and what she stands for, there is another who blames her for her problems. My personal research shows that Barbie is popular and polarizing. Young girls view Barbie positively, but as they aged, their views became polarized. Statistically, she is tied to our society's standards of beauty. Barbie innovated the way young girls play and gave them a tool to imagine themselves as whatever they dream of for their future. But she's had some unintended negative consequences too. At the very least, she busted the status quo. I mean to say, I busted it. Surprise, it's me, Barbie. I turned 50 last year. Don't I look good? I was the brainchild of Ruth Handler of Mattel Toys. Mattel was founded in 1947 in the modern age of plastic. Now, this was right after World War II, and all the GIs were coming home, getting married, and starting the baby boom. In 1955, Mattel did something truly innovative. They sponsored a new TV show called the Mickey Mouse Club. Before this time, toys were mostly sold in local shops or in a Christmas catalog. But now, Mattel actually started to market year-round and to children. They succeeded in changing the consumer from the parent to the child. And the toy industry would never be the same. You could say it busted wide open. In the 1950s, it was a man's world. Betty Friedan published The Feminine Mystique, which mocked the social norm, as the man is the king of his castle, and the woman who met him at the door with dinner on the table. My mom, I call her Ruth, busted that mold. She was the mother of two and the co-founder of an up-and-coming Fortune 500 company. Ruth noticed her daughter Barbara would play with paper dolls rather than baby dolls because they were grown-ups. On a trip to Europe, Ruth discovered the German Lily doll. Now, Lily was actually a sexy bimbo gag gift created for returning soldiers. But Ruth felt the rights to the doll and was determined to innovate Lily into a respectable all-American doll. That presented two major challenges. First, Ruth wanted a softer doll. I was made of a mixture of plastic and vinyl, and they had to create an innovative spinning machine that would inject this mixture into a mold. So it could be soft, but hollow, so hair could be sewn to my head. That innovation is used in thousands of products today. But the bigger innovation was that Ruth wanted a doll with a bust. Just not all the anatomical details Lily had. Respectability was my watchword. When I was born in 1959, mothers were shocked. But thanks to my advertising, little girls clamored for me, and within 6 months, I flew off the shelves. I was introduced as a fashion model, so I needed some clothes. I do feel sorry for the sweatshop workers who probably sold themselves blind making those tiny stitches. I was originally proportioned as an exact miniature of an adult woman, well endowed, but doable. But when those workers sewed the waistbands for my clothes, that's a 4 to 8 layer fabric. No big deal when you're human size. But when you're my size, it made my waist look disproportionate. So to make me look right again, they just shrunk my waist. Full size, my measurements would be 39, 19, 33. So we might as well talk about that right now. I know that some of you blame me. I've heard the criticism that just 2 years after it was created, Weight Watchers was invented. I know that 81% of 10-year-olds worry about being fat. Anorexia, bulimia, breast implants, standard of beauty, that's a big burden to put on my tiny shoulders. Look at Hollywood. I I was born in its backyard. Look at the starlets. Blonde, no ethnicity, tiny waist, and appealing curves. Look familiar? I reflect America's views of beauty. I was just more available to impressionable young girls. Some of them have such a B and look like me. Ridiculous. I reflect pop culture. I was never intended to send a negative body image. At least I can say the only reason my bust looks so big is that my waist is so small. And that's because of the doll clothes. I do have lots of clothes and accessories. I regret another unintentional message that to be happy like me, you need a lot of stuff. Not so good in today's economy, but I made my company billions. You know, 2 of me are sold every second, and the average girl in America has 8. Today, I have every skin tone and nationality, though I've been banned when I ran. Figures since I was created to be the all-American girl next door. Respectable. Ruth would just flip in her grave if she knew some of the positions I've been put in. I'm just a doll, but some of you adults like to project your views on me too. RuPaul, a predominant female impersonator, views me as his idol. I've been portrayed as psycho killer Barbie, drug dealer, or hooker Barbie. There's a lot to our culture that is not, as Ruth would put it, respectable. But I only reflect you. I was not meant to be a sex symbol. That was Lily. I am a child's toy, innovated to be a tool for imagination. Child psychologist Piaget's theory of play states that there are 4 types of play. Though I cover all 4, I am the princess of pretend play. I give young girls a chance to imagine themselves as whatever they dream of for their future, without being limited by society. I must tip my chair to World War II's Rosie the Riveter. She's my hero. Because of her, women stepped up and did a man's job just as well. But after the war, the men came home, and most of the women settled back into motherhood and traditional female jobs. About the time I was created, Helen Gurley Brown published Sex and the Single Girl. Actually, I should have been the poster girl. Here I was, single, with my own job, my own money, my own life, and a boyfriend if and when I wanted. There came a time I realized I could affect society as well as reflect it. That moment came when Talkie Barbie said, "Math is hard." You would have thought I said girls are dumb or something. Math is hard. That doesn't mean I can't do it, but I realized more girls were listening to me than I thought. So I developed my new slogan, "We girls can do anything." Today, I have over 126 careers. I was a presidential candidate 2 years before Geraldine Ferraro was on the ballot. A doctor, an astronaut, an Indy race car driver years before Danica Patrick. I've served in all branches of the military. Take that, G.I. Joe. I've gone to every major college and been an Olympic gold medal winner all at the same time. I just don't get why the National Organization for Women doesn't like me. But I guess with their Love Your Body campaign, I have a clue. People ask me, is there any respectable role you haven't officially done? Well, I've never been a wife and mother. I do hope that my independence did not send the message to young girls that motherhood and family were not as important as a career, especially with the dramatic decrease in 2-parent families today. So there you have it. My innovation has had some intended impact and change, some not. But remember, I only reflect you. For better or for worse. I could bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, and never, never let you forget you're a man, 'cause I'm a woman. B-A-R-B-I-E.